Go on, Ben!
He's coming by way of a knockout. And he fights at Fight Ero. Introducing the former British Fight Ero and WBA champion, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Eubank Jr.
Sit there, pick my bar. Pull the straw out. Make it higher so I can get him. That's good. First round's out of the way.
He's opportunity. The left hand, the right hand over the top.
The Destroyer Benn.
And it's a blessing to be fighting back on British soil.
Is there a high level of respect between you and Junior now?
I mean, I wish him well. You know, I know he's gone to the hospital. I've heard he's got a broken jaw.
And you know, see, Eubank, Chris, was spiteful in that ring. You could tell. He could knock him out anytime he wanted, but he didn't want to. Just fucking using the jab and it's hurting him and it's hurting him.
Oh, the emotions after that, mate. Just unbelievable. I mean, honestly, what I saw there, I can't even bother to moan about the scorecards because I couldn't be prouder. I mean, listen, I know me and Junior have had our ups and downs, but unbelievable respect to him. But for my man, Conor Benn, you've just seen the beginning, in my opinion, of one of the biggest stars in British boxing, the people's champion. And for all the rubbish he's been through over the last couple of years, and I know how good and clean this kid's heart is, to see him, you know, I don't think he's quite aware yet of the response.
Full way through. On edge of your seat, we're good. Were you impressed by Conor? Because ultimately he was the lighter fighter in there tonight. Yeah, you know, Eubank is no Golovkin. You know what I mean? You could see the way it started to look tired, but you know, Conor had that energy. You know, moving up the way, he had more energy inside him. But you know what I mean? Equal the match. You know what I mean? It lived up to the hype, and you know what I mean? They didn't let the fans down.
Who won the fight, Conor?
You might have won the fight, but you're the one in hospital, not me.
If you take a man's soul, that usually means you win the fight.
You might have won the fight.
I've never seen someone's soul get taken and they still win.
So I look at you now and you ain't the same.
The truth is we both ended up in hospital and, you know, I was there for dehydration and you were there for the...
How much weight did you put on after the weigh-in?
Listen,
after the weigh-in,
we're not going
was you 3 pounds
to get into weight.
Speaking ahead of the fight, Roy Jones Jr., who previously trained Chris Eubank Jr., told TalkSport that while he favors his former fighter, Conor Benn's danger cannot be dismissed. Jones explained that Eubank is the naturally bigger, more seasoned man, but Benn's one-punch knockout power makes him a constant threat, even while moving up in weight. If Benn lands one clean shot, anything can happen, Jones warned, noting that although he leans toward Eubank, Benn remains a true 140-pounder, stepping far outside his natural division.
He beats Conor because of the size.
Yeah. Is that his best route to victory, just to impose himself?
Yeah.
Very tough fight for Conor, Roy Jones Jr. told TalkSport. I'm not saying he can't win, but it's going to be a rough one. Jones believes Benn's only real chance is to land something big early, while avoiding sustained damage. He praised Eubank for his evolution, saying he has sharpened his fundamentals and matured into a far more complete fighter. According to Jones, Eubank is extremely difficult for any naturally smaller opponent to beat. He acknowledged that Liam Smith's win over Eubank gave Benn fresh confidence, but insisted that size remains the defining advantage in Eubank's favor.
Eubank's looking at Conor Benn, he's talking to him, he's thinking to himself,
when do I splat this egg around the side of his head? When do I do it? How do I do it? Do I put it in his face? Do I put it on his head? Is he going to see me? Because if Conor would have seen him, he might have blocked it and check hooked him. But it was quick. He distracted Conor by saying, what did you say? Then he reached for the egg and he clattered him right around the side of the back of the ear and the face. And the egg yolk went everywhere. A lot of the yolk missed him, so it wasn't that embarrassing where he's dribbling with egg.
Carl Froch understands the intensity of a bitter rivalry better than most, having lived through it with George Groves. Their first fight was filled with tension, mind games, and unexpected drama, including Froch being dropped early by a huge right hand after underestimating the challenger. Though Froch won via a disputed stoppage, the Wembley rematch provided closure. Froch sees parallels between that rivalry and the Eubank vs. Benn feud, especially after Eubank smashed an egg in Benn's face at the press conference, mocking the excuse Benn used after his 2020 failed drug test. Froch emphasized that Eubank holds a major size advantage, having competed at super middleweight against world-level opponents like Groves, James DeGale, and Arthur Abraham, while Benn is jumping up to full divisions for their April 26th showdown.
I say he's a wide favourite. He's boxed George Groves. He's been in there with
Arthur Abraham.
He's a big punch in super middles. Do you know what I mean? And his punch resistance might not be what it once was, and might not be the fighter he once was. I'd say he probably is a little bit sharp, but Conor Benn hasn't beaten anyone or fought anyone of the stature of the people that he's performed against, has he, Eubank? If you look at his resume, it's...
The wins against Arthur Abraham and James DeGale. That's super middle as well.
Channel. Froch broke down the matchup in detail and sided with the larger, more experienced fighter. He argued that when you evaluate achievements, size, strength, and world-level pedigree, Chris Eubank Jr. clearly stands ahead. Froch pointed out that Eubank has operated at higher weights and against superior opposition, whereas Conor Benn has yet to prove himself on the elite stage. He admitted Benn's KO of Chris Algieri was impressive, but stressed that Algieri was far past his prime, based on the available evidence. Froch said his early pick is Eubank Jr.
Close loss to Billy Joe Saunders. But the loss to Liam Smith was such a bad loss, but he rectified it, wasn't it?
But he rectified it in the rematch, and and Liam's a good fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. He was a good fighter. In the rematch, he was dead himself, wasn't he? He was fucked himself. Do you think that he's a heavy favourite, or do you think he's a slight favourite?
I think he's a heavy favourite. I don't see what you could base, unless you're just going on like hype or something. But I don't see what you can't. I don't see what you can. You got to look at facts, haven't you?
World champion Amir Khan also favoured the bigger man, giving the advantage to the fighter who naturally carries more weight, more physical strength, and a more established presence in the higher divisions.
I've initially started off with Chris, even though I wasn't impressed with his last fight, even though I think the inactivity of Conor for the last 15 months might affect it, even though I think he's the older fighter of the two. I'm side towards Chris, but I'm going to wait until the weigh-in and give you my definitive answer when I see them both on the scales and see what they look like.
Same question.
Added, a few weeks ago, I was picking Conor because he's the aggressor. But the size difference, not just one weight, but almost two, changes everything. Drawing from his own experience moving up to fight Canelo, Khan said weight divisions exist for a reason. Chris Eubank isn't Canelo, but he's still got more weight, more power, more strength, more height, and more overall size than Conor Benn, he explained, predicting a win for Eubank. Meanwhile, promoter Ben Shalom forecasted a stoppage in rounds 5 or 6, saying both fighters thrive in aggressive exchanges and are at their best when fighting, not boxing cautiously.
Very hard, so I'm worried for Conor Benn. Chris Eubank Jr. is hard to get completely locked in, let's be honest. We've seen it on occasion. He is ready. He has had a fantastic camp. He is training for this properly. He's had a great camp with Jonathan Banks. He stayed in London. He's not gone anywhere. And he's ready to put on a demolition.
Shalom said both men have too much pride to fight on the back foot, predicting they will meet head-on in the center of the ring for an explosive shootout from round 1. He emphasized that the excitement comes from their styles as much as their rivalry, with both fighters practically designed for chaos, demonstrating his confidence in Eubank. Shalom publicly accepted the £1 million bet offered by Eddie Hearn. He made that bet with me. Shalom insisted, tell him to stick to it, because now he looks like he's trying to back out. If he didn't want it, he shouldn't have brought it up.
Making for a fantastic fight, but yeah, Chris is Chris.
The people's champion is Michael Watson.
He always has been. You know, during our time in the 90s, he was a people's champion. So where are these people today? Stand up for him by not going along with the nonsense and the circus that's been created for this farce of a fight, which is between one fighter who is at 2 or 3 weights above the smaller guy.